Welcome. So today we're going to talk about motivation. And why I want to talk about this is because I have a group program coming up. And so I've started putting the word out there and the nurses are coming to me and wanting to know more about this. And one of the things they bring up is help me. I don't have that motivation. I lose the motivation. I Help me find the motivation. So I'm Karen Shable, and I'm a weight loss coach for nurses. And I lost 100 pounds. I've been through it. I've done it while being a nurse, being stressed and busy. And so I know exactly what you're going through. And this was something that I struggle with as well, is this motivation. And I want you to really think about it. When we first started diet, we are excited, we're motivated to follow that diet. We're right on, we're eating the way it tells us to, we're sticking to it. We go out for the party and it's like, no, we're not eating it because we're following that diet. And then sometimes what happens is we step on that scale. And, if we step on that scale and the number is going down, it motivates us. When we see that number, it gives us a dopamine hit. It makes us feel good. And that feel good just keeps us motivated. But then what happens is we step on the scale one day and the number stays the same or it goes up. And what happens is that's where we feel unmotivated. We lose our motivation. And what I want you to know about is motivation is only a feeling. It is a feeling created from our thoughts. And I want you to go back and listen to my earlier podcast. I think it's 6, 7, and 8. It talks about the thoughts and the feelings, circumstance, thoughts, feelings, and actions. So for instance, that scale, the circumstance is the number was, let's say, 145 and it went up to 147. That's a fact, 2 pounds up. But we think it's not working. I can't do this. I always fail. And we think it's the scale creating how we're feeling. We're feeling depressed. We're feeling frustrated. We're feeling sad. But it's not. The scale is only neutral until we have a thought about it. So that's where we lose the motivation. But the thing is, motivation is only a feeling, just like a feeling of sadness and happiness and anger and frustration. We don't have that all the time. We only have it some of the times. Same as motivation. It's a feeling. We can't expect ourselves to feel motivated all the time. So if you want to keep going, you have to know that first off, you can't have that feeling of motivation all the time. So you cannot rely on motivation to keep you going. And second, it's your thoughts. So there's 2 things about this that we really have to work on. First is, going into this stepping on the scale or keeping going on losing weight is, what are we consciously deciding to think? Because remember, we are thinking. We have 60,000 thoughts a day. And most of them are on automatic pilot. So I know that if you've tried to lose weight many times and you've stepped on that scale and you see that number go up, you have those same reaction thoughts. Those thoughts that are sitting in the back of your mind are stepping forward and they are shouting out loud and clear. So why don't you, instead of relying on those thoughts to drive how you're feeling and your actions, set a plan in place? Before you step on the scale, decide ahead of time how you want to think, how you want to feel. That's important, because then when you step on the scale, it's just a number. It's what you choose to think beforehand. That's most important. So for me, what I do, and I talk about this too, because I got a little bit complacent the last sort of about month. And I was busy really working hard on my business and not getting out, not getting on my treadmill, not getting out walking, even grab assing just a little bit, eating this bread and that doesn't sit well in my body. And I gained like 5 pounds. And I know it's not five like real real pounds. It's more of, I was also getting stressed as well. I was allowing myself to sit with that stress, but stress holds on to weight. So I could have then, when I stepped on the scale, I could have said, this is, I'm so frustrated. I can't do this. Look at this. Look what I did. For 13 years, I had this weight off. And look at you, Karen. You can't do it. Instead, this is my old standby now. I knew, I could feel it in my body, and I knew I stepped on the scale. But before I stepped on the scale, I'm like, Karen, things happen. I've had this before. I've gone up and down 5 pounds in these last 15 years or 13 years. I even went up about 10, 15 pounds at one point, but I always get it off. I never go up again higher because I know my brain, I've wired it to say, Karen, it's okay. Things happen. We're going to get back on track. You're not a failure. Life happens. So I stepped on that scale. The number went up. And don't get me wrong. My first thought was, oh, Karen, why'd you let this happen? But then my automatic thought that I've programmed for over these 13 years is, it's okay, Karen. You've done it before. You can do it again. All you have to do is get back to the basics like you teach your clients. And I did. The weight's coming off. I've got 3 pounds off, and it's only a matter of, this past week. And it's because I've dialed back into the basics. I have stopped being complacent. And, when I talk about complacency, for me, and I don't know about you, but it's that, you're in that routine and you're just doing it. And then things slide just a little bit. You add a little bit in here, and it's almost like you're not even really noticing it per se. You are, but you aren't. And then all of a sudden you're hit with it and going, oh my goodness, what happened? And that's okay. It is a normal thing. You're normal. We're all normal human beings. And why I'm aware of the complacency, because I had a talk, my husband and I were talking, and it happens in marriages too. It sort of happened in ours a bit. We've been married 9 years, and in the beginning, this is the same as weight loss. In the beginning, we're excited and it's new, same as a diet. It's all new. We're motivated, feeling great. And then as you go along, the excitement wears off, that motivation. It's just like doing the same thing over and over again. And you let this slide, the date night slide, the bringing flowers home slide, doing the little special things slide. It's not that you mean to be mean or not thoughtful, but it's just you get complacent. That happens with weight, with weight loss too. So it's really being aware. Like I teach, become aware in life. We have gone through, if you're struggling with weight, you have gone through years and years and years of not paying attention and not being aware because you're following the diet mentality. It's just about the food and exercise, but it's way more than that. It's about becoming aware of what's going in your mind. So let's go back to the scale. Let's go back to motivation. So it's not about the food and the weight that the number's going up. It's like getting aware, okay, that number's going up. Is it that I got complacent and I grab-assed a tiny bit? Is it that, I'm really stressed and my body's holding on to it? Is it that I'm actually doing well, but my body is retaining fluid a bit? Maybe it's that time of month. Like get aware, but get curious on, it could be so much more than I'm a failure and I can't do this. That's so, so important. So when it comes to motivation, what I want you to know is you're not going to always feel motivated. Sometimes you just have to your brain has to tell you, yeah, but this is what I want. Like, this is where you have to tap into your why. Why do I want to keep going? Why do I want to do this? That's sometimes what will keep you moving forward. It's not the motivation all the time. Like, trust me, when I had to get back, not had to, I wanted to get back to getting on my treadmill and running again. You know, change is not easy. Our brains have this motivational triad that seek pleasure, avoid pain, and do it in the most efficient way possible, the easiest way possible. So when I had to, focus on getting back to my old routine, my brain was telling me, no, that's hard. Change, don't change. That's scary. That's uncomfortable. Hide in the cave, stay comfortable. I had to tell myself, no, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to do. And you just have to do it. You have to set yourself up to do it. And, one of my excuses my brain kept telling me was, I don't have time. I'm too busy. You know what? I am busy. I've got lots on my plate, but being too busy is an excuse. I knew it was, because you know what? I've got back to it. Nothing's changed. I've still got the same workload, but it's making a decision on, what's important. What am I wasting time on that I can stop that so I can get that exercise in? Or maybe saying no to something so I can get this in, because when you say no to something else, you're actually saying no to yourself too. So really when you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to yourself. So really paying attention to all of that. So what I started with is motivation to keep you going. And you know what? You have to let that go on needing motivation. Yeah, motivation is great. Yeah, motivation is, that drive of gives you that dopamine hit. You're motivated, you do something, you get the dopamine hit of feel good when you do it, which keeps you motivated. But sometimes you don't have that, and that's okay. You can keep going. You just have to tell yourself, I'm going to do it. I am just going to do it. And you do it. And I guarantee you, once you do it, you'll get that dopamine hit, that feel-good hormone from doing it, which will create your motivation to keep going. So that's how you, hack that motivation, lack of motivation. You can keep going. You can keep doing it. It's really, really paying attention to what's your why as well. That's so important. And I do have a podcast about that. So go back, listen to that. These are all the basics that really make a difference to weight loss. It's not just about the food and the exercise. So if you find this helpful, I am starting a group program coming up in February. What I talk about and all the stuff in my podcast is what we do in my program, plus so much more. It is what helped me to get that 100 pounds off, what helps my clients be successful, but not only about losing that weight, it's about transforming your life, like being able to go to work and stop dreading going to work, having your relationships like so much better. Everything you learn in my group program, you can put into every aspect of your life. So if this is something you want, shoot me a message through KarenShabel.com, and we can get on a talk, we can get on the phone, and we can talk about it and get you on that wait list, because it is a limited, there are spots, only limited spots. So please don't miss out, because it will be for another, won't be for another about 4 more months before we open that up again. And I know it works. It's worked for me, it works for my clients, and I know it will work for you too. So have an amazing day. Bye-bye.